I'm Damon Conklin, and this is the frequently asked questions portion of our website. This is where I am going to take the time to try to explain to you some frequently asked questions and what their answers would be, and try to breathe a little life into it so we understand these questions and these answers from more dimensions than just one. Cheers. So one thing people want to know a lot is that, probably the number one question is, how much does tattoos cost? I want to get a Grim Reaper. How much does that cost? And the problem is that tattooers universally all say, well, we charge this much an hour, which nobody knows what that means, including the tattooer in a lot of cases. Everybody works at different hourly rates. And you've basically told the person, I'm not going to answer your question. Well, we want to bridge that gap a little bit. I'd say now if you're getting like traditional style tattoos where you've got a bold outline, black shading, a couple of colors, that's the kind of thing where a tattoo like the size of my palm, this part here, would probably only cost a couple $100 at the most. That same palm-sized tattoo, if it were a portrait, could easily cost $500 or $600 if it was done by someone who really had mastered doing realistic portraiture. So that palm size varies, but now we know a couple of parameters within which it varies. The simpler tattoo costs a simpler price, which is to say that if you've got $200 or $300 to spend on a tattoo, you can get a decent sized tattoo that will look good on the ball of your shoulder or in the center of your forearm, if you're not going for something hyper realistic or super detail intensive. I think that helps people understand how to budget things. People, from my experience, who are getting the more realistic stuff that takes more finesse are a little bit more understanding of the process and the time it takes, and know that their tattoos are going to be more expensive. But if you didn't know, now you do. Now here's a tricky one. How do I pick my artist? I've got some ideas. I've seen some cool stuff around town and in magazines and on the internet, and I want something cool, and I've got a kind of a picture in my mind. How do I find them? Well, it can be tricky because there's definitely a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of artists and a lot of talent. Some artists are really good at realism. Some are really good with color. Some are really good with black and gray. Some do really flat graphic things. Some are very precise. Some are very loose and flowy and artistic. What I would say is when you have an idea of what you like and you've seen some things that look similar to it, just find an artist who has a portfolio who what you imagine for you would look good in their portfolio. If you're looking through their portfolio then at that point and everything you see in there you love, then you know you've got someone that you can work with, at least visually and skill set wise. Then the next step obviously is to go in and meet with them, talk to them a little bit, make sure you guys get along. They're going to be hurting you and they're going to be charging you a lot of money. So you're probably going to want to like them. They may not have an overflowing personality. Not all of us are like that, but make sure that you get along and that you have some basic accord with them. Based off of that and a love of their style, you're good to go. If you're getting something smaller, you may not need to take up a busy specialist artist's time with that. You can come into any shop that you trust, and hey, you're already on a Supergenius Tattoo page, so you found someone that has always had a history of great tattooers working for them, and just come on in and pick one of our artists and get it handled. Now, another thing that people often worry a lot about is aftercare. So you've got your tattoo, you're okay with you love it, you know, you love what it states, but you don't know how to take care of it. You hear a lot of horror stories about people who did this or did that, and the tattoo looked terrible. I want to put everybody's mind and heart at ease. First of all, we recommend using lotion on a tattoo, not because lotion is a magical healing salve, which means that your favorite brand of aftercare product, and fill in the blank with whatever your favorite brand may be, but we'll say Slow Mo Joe's Tattoo Mojo. Let's say that's your favorite. Well, that's great. Enjoy the packaging. Enjoy what Slow Mo Joe has to offer visually, but just know that it's the same as using Aquifer on your tattoo. The body is healing the tattoo. and a little bit of something to make it more comfortable and to soothe the itching is nice, but really the body's going to do its job all on its own. So keep it clean. And if your artist happens to use a product like Sanoderm, which is like a second skin type of thing, that stuff is awesome because you put it on there, leave it on there for 4 or 5 days, you take it off, and you really don't have to do anything else again to your tattoo. The funniest one people ask, and every single person in the world asks this, do tattoos hurt? Did that hurt on the side of your head? Did that hurt on your throat? No, it felt like a back massage. As a matter of fact, on Friday nights, I like to go get blank tattoos done on me just because it feels so good. No, they hurt. They do hurt. But what I always tell people who are worried about the pain is imagine this. Close your eyes and think of all the people you know in the world that have tattoos. All of them. They can't all be tougher than you, right? Am I right? I thought so. It's not so bad. It does fluctuate a little bit. Maybe the outer arm is a 1 on a scale of 1 to 10. And someplace like the center of the chest, the rib cage might be in the 8, 9, or 10 range. But that even varies from person to person. If you can handle an hour worth of tattooing, you can probably handle 3 hours worth of tattooing. And if you can handle 3 hours worth of tattooing, you can come back and do that several times and get a back piece. Easy math. Thank you.